Before we even start exposing this massive scam, I need you to comment right now, and I'm dead serious about this. How much money have you personally wasted on Canada Post's fake express services that never arrive on time? Drop that number in the comments, because by the end of this video, you'll realize you're not alone in getting robbed. What I'm about to show you is how Canada Post is running the most successful legal scam in Canadian history. We're talking about an $8 billion operation that's basically organized theft disguised as a public service. They're charging you premium prices for services they absolutely know they cannot and will not deliver. Here's what we're exposing today. And trust me, every single detail will make your blood boil. First, I'm going to break down how Express Post is the biggest lie in Canadian business. We're talking about a service that costs $30 plus and performs worse than regular mail from other countries. Then, we'll dive into where your $8 billion in postage fees actually goes. Because spoiler alert, it's not going toward getting your packages delivered. We'll reveal the hidden fees and false promises that are systematically draining money from every Canadian family. I'm talking about surprise charges, fake delivery attempts, and a refund process designed to make you give up and let them keep your money. Plus, I'll show you the shocking truth about how much this public service has personally stolen from you over the years. And halfway through this video, I want you to do some quick math and calculate exactly how much Canada Post has taken from your wallet. The number is going to shock you, and it's going to make you furious when you realize this has been happening to millions of Canadians. This isn't just about slow delivery or bad customer service. This is about systematic fraud that's hiding behind a government monopoly. And it's time someone called them out for what they really are: professional thieves with official uniforms. So buckle up, because we're about to expose how Canada Post turned mail delivery into the most profitable scam in the country. Let me start with the most obvious scam that Canada Post is running: Express Post. This is where they really show their true colors as professional con artists. Picture this: you pay $25, $30, sometimes $40 for express delivery that promises your package will arrive in 1 to 2 business days. Now, here's the reality that'll make you want to throw your computer out the window.
What's contributing to all this?
This has been going on since 2006. It can be dated precisely
I've got story after story of people paying for Express Post and watching their packages sit in sorting facilities for literally weeks. We're talking about packages that take longer to arrive than if you had just walked them to their destination yourself. Pause this video right now and comment below. What's the most money you've ever paid for express delivery that arrived slower than regular mail? I want to see these horror stories because Canada Post needs to be publicly shamed for this theft. Here's a real example that happened to someone I know. They paid $35 for Express Post to send important legal documents from Toronto to Ottawa, a drive that takes 4 hours. The package took 18 days to arrive. 18 days! You could have crawled to Ottawa faster than that package moved through Canada Post's system. But here's where the scam really kicks in. Canada Post keeps your money even when they completely fail to deliver on their promises. There's no automatic refund when they miss their delivery window. No compensation for the extra costs you incurred because of their failure. They just shrug and say, "Oops," while keeping every penny you paid. The fine print is designed to protect them from accountability. They use words like estimated delivery and target dates instead of guarantees, even though their marketing makes it sound like a promise. It's deliberately misleading language that lets them take your money without actually committing to anything. And when you try to get a refund, good luck with that nightmare. The process is so complicated and time-consuming that most people just give up and let Canada Post keep the money they stole. That's not an accident. That's a business model. Think about what this really means. You're paying premium prices for a service that performs worse than regular mail. And when they fail to deliver what you paid for, they keep your money anyway. In any other industry, this would be called fraud. At Canada Post, it's called Tuesday. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room: Canada Post's massive $8 billion annual budget. Where exactly does all that money go when your packages are sitting in warehouses and their service gets worse every year? Here's what's going to make you absolutely furious. While you're paying more for worse service, Canada Post executives are giving themselves raises and bonuses like they're running a successful company. The CEO alone makes over $500,000 a year to oversee a system that can't deliver a package across town in under 2 weeks. But it gets worse. A huge chunk of your postage fees goes to maintaining a bloated bureaucracy that seems designed to slow things down rather than speed them up. We're talking about layers and layers of management that add nothing to the actual delivery of your packages. Let me break down some real numbers that'll make your head spin. Canada Post employs thousands of people in administrative roles who never touch a package, never drive a truck, and never interact with customers. These are paper pushers who exist solely to justify their own existence while your mail gets buried under red tape. Meanwhile, the actual postal workers, the people who are supposed to deliver your packages, are overworked, understaffed, and dealing with ancient equipment. The money that should be going toward hiring more drivers and updating sorting facilities is instead going toward executive bonuses and bureaucratic bloat. Here's the really infuriating part. They spend millions on marketing campaigns to convince you their service is getting better, while the actual infrastructure continues to crumble. They'll pay for flashy TV commercials, but won't invest in the basic systems needed to track packages or deliver them on time. And let's talk about their facilities. Have you ever been inside a Canada Post sorting facility? It's like stepping back in time 30 years. Ancient conveyor belts, outdated computer systems, and processes that were designed when mail was 90% letters instead of packages. Your $8 billion is funding a system that's actively resistant to improvement. Every dollar you spend on postage is helping maintain a bureaucracy that views efficiency as the enemy and customer satisfaction as an afterthought. Here's where Canada Post's theft gets really sophisticated. The guaranteed delivery scam that's designed to separate you from your money while providing absolutely no accountability on their end. Quick calculation time. I want you to add up how much you've spent on Canada Post services in the last year and comment that number below. Include everything: stamps, package delivery, express services, the works. I bet most of you are over $200 for service that would be considered criminal negligence in any other industry. Let's break down how their guaranteed delivery system actually works. First, they take your money upfront for premium service. Then, they slap a tracking number on your package and send it into a system that seems designed by people who hate both packages and customers. Your package sits in the first sorting facility for days because they don't have enough staff to process it. Then it gets moved to another facility where it sits for more days. Then maybe it gets loaded on a truck, or maybe it just sits some more. The tracking system tells you it's in transit, but doesn't mention that in transit means sitting motionless in a warehouse somewhere. When your guaranteed delivery date comes and goes with no package, what happens? Absolutely nothing. No automatic refund, no apology email, no compensation for their failure. You have to contact them to even acknowledge that they broke their promise. And here's the beautiful part of their scam. The refund process is so deliberately complicated that most people just give up. You have to fill out forms, provide proof of delivery failure, wait for review periods, and jump through so many hoops that your time becomes worth more than the refund you're trying to get. Even if you do manage to get a refund, it's usually just for the shipping cost, not for any of the actual damages their delay caused. Miss an important deadline because of their failure? That's your problem. Lose business because your products didn't arrive? Too bad. So sad. The terms of service are written to make sure Canada Post takes zero responsibility for the consequences of their incompetence. They'll gladly take your money for guaranteed service, but when they fail to deliver, suddenly it's all disclaimers and limitations of liability. This is textbook fraud, promising one thing, delivering another, keeping the money regardless of performance, and making it nearly impossible to get recourse when they fail. Now let's talk about Canada Post's secondary scam operation, the hidden fees that appear like magic after you've already paid for your service. This is where they really show their creativity as professional thieves. You send a package thinking you've paid the full cost, then boom, suddenly there are handling fees, processing charges, and mysterious administrative costs that nobody mentioned when you paid. It's like ordering a meal and then being charged extra for the plate, the fork, and the privilege of eating it. The international shipping scam is particularly brutal. They'll quote you one price for shipping, then hit the recipient with duty charges that cost more than the actual duties themselves. We're talking about $5 in actual government fees, turning into $35 in Canada, post handling charges. But here's where it gets really sleazy, the failed delivery attempt racket. Canada Post has figured out that they can make money by not delivering your packages. They'll claim they attempted delivery when nobody was home, even if someone was there all day. Then they hold your package hostage at a post office and charge you storage fees if you don't pick it up fast enough. I've heard stories of delivery drivers not even getting out of their trucks, just filling out attempted delivery slips and driving away. Why? Because failed deliveries are actually more profitable than successful ones. They get to charge redelivery fees, storage costs, and processing charges for every package they don't deliver the first time. The package holding ransom scheme is particularly infuriating. Your package gets sent to a post office that's only open during business hours when most people are at work. Miss the pickup window? More fees. Need them to redeliver? More fees. Want to redirect it to a different location? You guessed it, more fees. And let's talk about their insurance scam. They'll happily sell you insurance for your valuable packages, but when something gets lost or damaged, the claims process is designed to make you give up. They require receipts, proof of value, photographic evidence, and a small novel's worth of paperwork just to consider your claim. Even when they do approve claims, the payout is usually a fraction of what you paid for insurance. It's like buying fire insurance that only covers smoke damage on Tuesdays during the leap years. It's time for the final tally, and this is where the real scope of Canada Post's theft becomes crystal clear. Let's calculate exactly how much this public service has systematically stolen from Canadian families and businesses. Think about every express package that arrived late, but you never got refunded. Every handling fee that appeared out of nowhere. Every storage charge for packages they failed to deliver properly. Every insurance premium you paid for coverage that turned out to be worthless when you needed it. For the average Canadian family, Canada Post's systematic theft adds up to hundreds of dollars per year in overcharges, failed services, and hidden fees. Multiply that by millions of customers, and we're talking about a fraud operation worth billions of dollars annually. But the real theft goes beyond just the money you paid directly to Canada Post. Think about the business opportunities lost because important documents didn't arrive on time. The relationships damaged because gifts and cards never reached their destinations. The stress and wasted time dealing with their incompetent customer service. Small businesses are getting absolutely destroyed by Canada Post's failures. When you're trying to run an online store and your packages consistently arrive weeks late, customers blame you, not Canada Post. You lose sales, damage your reputation, and sometimes go out of business entirely because Canada Post can't do the basic job they're supposed to do. The economic impact of Canada Post's systematic theft extends far beyond individual losses. When businesses can't rely on mail delivery, they have to use more expensive alternatives or build extra costs into their pricing. Those costs get passed on to consumers, meaning Canada Post's incompetence is making everything more expensive for everyone. Time for the final calculation. Add up everything Canada Post has cost you in wasted money, time, stress, and missed opportunities. Include the express services that weren't express, the packages that got lost, the time spent dealing with their customer service nightmare, and the opportunities you missed because of their failures. Drop that total number in the comments right now. I want to see the real scale of how much Canada Post has stolen from ordinary Canadians. My guess is that most of you are looking at thousands of dollars in direct and indirect costs over the past few years. And here's the most infuriating part. Canada Post executives are probably reading these comments and laughing all the way to the bank. They've built a system where failure is profitable, incompetence is rewarded, and customers have no choice but to keep paying for terrible service. But there is something we can do about this organized theft. File complaints with the Canadian government. Demand accountability from your elected representatives. Support alternative delivery services whenever possible. And most importantly, document every failure and demand refunds, even when they make it difficult. Canada Post's scam only works because they're counting on Canadian politeness and apathy to let them get away with it. It's time to stop being polite about theft and start demanding the service we're already paying for. So here's my final question. Now that you know the full scope of how Canada Post is systematically stealing your money, what are you going to do about it? Comment below with your action plan, because this theft will continue until enough Canadians say enough is enough. And don't forget to hit that like button if Canada Post has ever stolen money from you through their express delivery scam, hidden fees, or complete failure to provide the services you paid for. Subscribe for more exposés on how Canadian institutions are failing the people they're supposed to serve. Because at the end of the day, Canada Post isn't just providing bad service. They're running a sophisticated theft operation that's stealing billions from Canadian families and businesses while hiding behind the facade of being a public service. Thanks for watching, and remember, every dollar you give to Canada Post is funding a system designed to take your money while providing as little value as possible in return. Choose your shipping options accordingly.